Under the sun-scorched skies of ancient Egypt, a monumental structure rose, shimmering with ambition and whispered secrets. Standing as a maritime sentinel, the Lighthouse of Alexandria beckoned to sailors, yet promised tales hidden behind its limestone facade. It was here that Ptolemy II's ambition flickered brightly, with a fire that lit the horizon. But beneath the beacon's guiding glow lurked the purported genius of Archimedes. A parabolic mirror, perhaps a weapon in disguise, rumoured to incinerate enemy ships, wrapped in legend and mystery. These stones, etched by slave hands, witnessed centuries of triumph and ruin. Come closer and unveil the shadows cast by this 40-story marvel over the tumultuous Mediterranean world. Step back into a world where the meeting of the Nile and the Mediterranean weaves a tapestry of ambition and grandeur. In Alexandria, amidst the bustling exchanges of merchants and the march of soldiers, Ptolemy I Soter, a stalwart successor to Alexander the Great, dared to conceive a structure that would outlive its era. Determined to blend Greek and Egyptian heritage in a singular vision, he envisioned the Lighthouse of Alexandria as a beacon of unity and an unyielding emblem of his reign. This was no mere construction, but a testament to human ambition, rising from the heart of a metropolis where the dreamers and doers of ancient worlds converged. The city of Alexandria began to hum with a lively anticipation as plans for the lighthouse took shape. Positioned on the island of Pharos, at the harbour's mouth, the lighthouse was to stand not only as a guide for sailors, but as a mark of the Ptolemaic dynasty's dominion over both sea and sky. According to Strabo's writings, its beginnings foreshadowed the marvel it would become, crafted not merely from rock and mortar, but infused with the audacity of human aspiration. As rulers reached for the stars, they charted courses over treacherous waters, with their eyes set firmly on the beacon yet to rise, an unyielding glow amid chaos. In the turbulent Mediterranean, where waters swallowed uncounted ships, Ptolemy saw the lighthouse as an anchor for safety and authority. It stood as a formidable claim over maritime supremacy, marrying necessity with spectacle. Myth and history blended in the accounts of Pliny the Elder, who saw the lighthouse not just as a guide, but a symbol casting humanity's light against the capricious forces of nature. Yet, behind its stony facade lay the whispers of mortality, a reminder of the fleeting grasp of power. In its glow, Alexandria stood as a testament to human endurance, faced with the divine capriciousness of the sea and sky. One can imagine an inky night pierced by the light of 1,000 fires. At its inauguration, a grand ceremony surrounding the lighthouse's first blaze etched itself into the fabric of history. Flames roared to life against the evening canvas, illuminating the observers gathered in wonder, an inauguration of light and life ensconced in ritualistic purpose. This celebrated moment, as noted by Strabo, unified the city's souls in awe as the lighthouse started its eternal watch, a sentinel both terrifying and comforting in its ancient grace and grandeur. Ingenious minds and skilled hands converged as Ptolemy called for architects to craft a structure that would defy the ravages of time. Rising in ascending layers of carved stone, the lighthouse embodied both strength and splendour. Each tier, wrapped in artistic intent and fortified for the tempests of ages, mirrored sacred geometry, a divine balancing act of the tangible and ethereal. Chronicles recorded by Pliny revealed a construction that echoed the heavens and whispered secrets of sacred designs, standing proudly on Pharos as an eternal guardian overlooking a vast kingdom. The mechanics behind the lighthouse's legendary glow intrigued and astounded scholars and sailors alike. Not merely a flickering lantern, the light was a marvel of ancient engineering. Descriptions suggest that the flames on the summit were mirrored and magnified, their beams guiding captains through the daunting Mediterranean darkness. These tales, woven into the narratives of travellers like Pliny, coloured the imagination with a portrait of ancient science bordering on the magical. This dance of light and mirror underscored a relentless drive to master night's ambiguity through human innovation. Through the passages of history, Strabo stands as a chronicler whose words paint the lighthouse's majesty in vivid hues. His writings open a window to an era where intellectual aspiration and architectural genius were inseparable. This towering structure was not just an aid to sailors, but a pillar of human achievement, a lighthouse set against an extraordinary backdrop of Alexandria's dawning era, where antiquity's flames continued to dance through the ages. Beyond reality, the lighthouse's luminous legend was embellished with threads of myth. Tales spoke of divine whispers guiding its creation, and its light took on supernatural significance through the storytelling traditions of the time. Pliny and the ancients, caught in this narrative web, perpetuated stories where fact and fiction merged seamlessly. These legends transformed the lighthouse into a saga, a totem of human insight woven with divine folklore. The keepers of the light stood as guardians, ensuring the lighthouse's brilliance would never wane. Their solitary watch was not only a duty to the present, but a sacred stewardship of a legacy reaching through time. As ancient scrolls recount, these custodians lived lives intertwined with relentless devotion and observance of rituals believed to appease divine forces, epitomes of patience and resilience against the inexorable march of time and sea. As Ptolemy's legacy forged on, so too did the lighthouse stand as its eternal flame. Across generations it persisted as a silent sentinel, constantly reminding of past glories and anticipated futures. Alexandria's identity intertwined inextricably with its light, echoing the shadow play of civilization's relentless quest for immortality amidst the sands of time and maritime whispers. And so, we commence our journey through the entwined threads of myth and reality, guided by the ever-luminous beacon of ancient wisdom. As the lighthouse cast its gaze across time's uncharted waters, it beckoned us to uncover the depths of human creativity and the pursuit of greatness, an enduring tale of light's triumph over darkness. Under the blazing Egyptian sun, Ptolemy II Philadelphus conceived a monument that would stand as a testament to his legacy, the Lighthouse of Alexandria. This marvel was more than a beacon. It was an ambition carved in stone, intended to immortalise his reign and project Alexandria's status as a fulcrum of culture and commerce. A homage to the divine and a monument to human ingenuity, Ptolemy's vision transcended mere functionality, aspiring to link the earthly with the celestial. The groundwork for this architectural giant was laid through the toil of the era's great minds, architects, astronomers, and engineers, who collaborated to transform an idea into a towering reality. Their collective genius inspired the edifice's design, combining form and function in service of a structure that would illuminate the Egyptian coastline for centuries. These early steps set the stage for what would become a journey of enormous scale and complexity, an astonishing task captured vividly by Lucian of Samosata. Lucian's accounts bring forth the formidable engineering challenges faced by the builders, dramatised through the transportation of materials from distant lands. Granite, hewn from the storied quarries of Aswan, provided the lighthouse's enduring foundation, while lustrous marble embellished its surface, symbolising the grandeur of Alexandria. The assembly of these stones required not just the physical strength of countless labourers, but also the astute planning and execution of engineers who balanced ancient wisdom with innovation. Challenges arose frequently, howling winds and the erosion of the sea, but were met with the dedication of those who toiled with both intellect and muscle. Yet beneath the sweeping grandeur of the lighthouse lies the haunting spectre of human sacrifice, the sweat and lives of slaves and prisoners of war who were compelled into service. Taken as captives in the expansion campaigns of the Ptolemaic dynasty, these men became the unsung architects of the lighthouse, their labour immortalised in its stones but scarcely acknowledged in historical records. Lucian's often overlooked descriptions hint at the relentless toil and grim conditions these workers faced, driving home the human cost behind each chiselled block and crafted angle. Central to the lighthouse's construction was the Pharos stone, extracted locally and essential for its resilience against the sea's fury. This stone, unique for its fine grain and durability, aligned perfectly with the architectural vision necessitating precision in each carve and fit. Its use not only underscored the innovative mindset of the architects, but also echoed Alexandria's wealth and prowess, anchoring the city's identity firmly within this embodiment of ambition and power. Each stage of construction unfolded as a testament to human resilience and skill. The massive foundations laid upon Alexandria's shifting sands provided basis for a rising tower, whose upper sections were engineered to balance height with structural integrity against the tremors that occasionally shook the region. Lucian narrates this monumental progress from ground to sky, culminating in a summit platform where a fierce flame would finally blaze, guiding mariners towards Alexandria's safe harbour. Labour was meticulously divided according to skill and class, illustrating the societal strata defining the ancient world. Masterful artisans carved artistic flourishes into stone, while the relentless hands of slaves assembled the monumental blocks. This symbiosis, marked by extraordinary craftsmanship and toil, framed a microcosm of Alexandria itself, where advancement and oppression coexisted in parallel tracks. The lighthouse stood as a testament to architectural innovation, its three-tiered design balancing aesthetic poise with functional genius. The sturdy square base, octagonal midsection, and circular top incorporated principles of aerodynamics and weight distribution far ahead of their time. The engineering acumen of its creators shone through the structure's resilience, each tier a triumph of problem solving and adaptation in the face of the elements. Today, the echoes of the lighthouse's construction continue to captivate archaeologists and historians, as remnants of this ancient creation emerge from the depths of time. In unearthed relics and inscribed stones, the stories of those who once walked its corridors are slowly reclaimed, revealing the lighthouse's broader cultural resonance. Each discovery adds a layer to our understanding, weaving the narrative of a civilization that reached for the stars through the sweat of countless hands and the brilliance of visionary minds. In the end, the Lighthouse of Alexandria transcended its physicality, embodying aspirations of eternity and the convergence of human endeavour and divine blessing. To ancient eyes, it was a beacon of hope, strength, and eternal vigilance, promising refuge in Alexandria's prosperous embrace. Its legacy extends into our modern world, both inspiring and daunting, as a reminder of the lengths to which humanity will go to touch the celestial. In the shadowed corridors of time, Archimedes of Syracuse shines as a beacon of intellectual prowess. This mathematical genius, known for crafting devices of both practicality and wonder, occupies a legendary space in the tapestry of ancient history. Among the many tales woven around him, none intrigues more than that of the fabled burning mirrors. These devices, said to harness the sun's power to incinerate enemy ships, blur the line between historical fact and mythical embellishment. The Byzantine scholar John Tzezzetzes recounts stories of parabolic mirrors crafted by Archimedes to defend Syracuse. While historians debate the plausibility of these mirrors, the enduring legend is fueled by our perennial fascination with the ancients' seemingly magical ingenuity. The legend, too, speaks to a world where human wit dares to overstep its bounds, crafting narratives that echo through the ages. The very idea of manipulating sunlight into a weapon reveals a blend of creativity and ambition that defined much of ancient innovation. Despite scant evidence, these stories elevate Archimedes beyond his practical inventions and bold theories, sealing his legacy as an icon of creative genius whose influence transcends time. The simplicity, yet profound potential of the burning mirrors offer a glimpse into the imaginations of ancient audiences, where what was possible and what was fantastical mingled freely. At the heart of these tales lies the science of optics, a field understood even in ancient times. Reflective surfaces focusing sunlight might have appeared feasible, yet practical obstacles cast shadows of doubt. Parabolic mirrors can indeed concentrate sunlight to a focal point. However, achieving the scale and precision necessary with ancient technology remains questionable. The materials, mirror-making techniques, and the sheer logistics of deploying them effectively in warfare introduce skepticism about the historical accuracy of such claims. Despite this, the legend has continually been revisited from medieval Islamic scholars to Renaissance thinkers, reviving interest in its potential. Ibn al-Haytham, an eminent physicist, deepened our understanding of optics, an area also explored by later luminaries like Leonardo da Vinci, who speculated on the mythical mirrors. Modern projects, fueled by experimental archaeology, hint that while small-scale setups might demonstrate the concept, replicating them on a scale necessary to destroy ships remains unproven. These stories of aspiration and ingenuity showcase the ancients' desire to harness elemental forces, precursors to the burgeoning field of solar technology. Intriguingly, some propose that the Lighthouse of Alexandria itself, another marvel of ancient engineering, may have housed such a device. The Pharos symbolised Ptolemaic power, with speculation about mirrors reinforcing its light or serving as a defensive apparatus. Yet converting a lighthouse into a weaponised structure strains credulity. Narratives vary, from tales of destruction to those enhancing signalling or communication. With archaeological evidence scant, these stories walk the fine line between fact and folklore, leaving ample room for imagination. Pictorially, the myths outlive reality, transcending the epochs through storytelling. They captivate with tales of remarkable triumphs, aspirations, and cautionary lessons, echoing how ancient tales blend truth with wondrous embellishments. Archimedes emerges not merely as a mathematician, but as a near-magical figure, illustrating past societies' yearning to master nature. The enduring allure of these stories emphasises the timeless power of narrative to uphold historical memories, enshrining them in human consciousness. The Renaissance sparked a surge in re-evaluating Archimedes' works, fueled by manuscripts that survived through Arabic scholars. These ideas inspired new explorations as figures like Da Vinci pondered his inventions, seeking to unlock secrets hidden in the past. Archimedes' legendary status flourished across cultures, driven by scholarly reverence for ancient intellect. A torch passed through translations and expansions. As modern-day enthusiasts and scientists delve into testing these myths, experimental archaeology stands at the fore. Recreating and scrutinising ancient devices reveals practical insights into what might have been achievable with past knowledge. While large-scale success eludes, smaller mirrors made of polished metal ignite curiosity, suggesting a connection between myth and method. Each attempt reflects our intrinsic drive to grasp ancient mysteries through practical experience, pulling threads of historical narrative into the present. Primary sources on the mirror remain elusive. Where they survive, they showcase the storytelling tradition, with its emotional weight often overshadowing factual precision. Accounts engage with a sense of wonder, designed to entertain and instruct, mirroring the oral traditions from which they sprang. Such narratives blur with literary imagination in later works, perpetuating and reshaping the myth according to contemporary sensibilities. The mythos surrounding Archimedes and the tales of mirrors were interwoven tightly with Ptolemaic power dynamics. Rulers of Egypt projected authority by associating themselves with innovation and control over knowledge. The Pharos stood as a testament to such prowess, a beacon of maritime supremacy with a mirrored narrative of mythical weaponry. These stories amplified the Ptolemies' image as enlightened rulers, wielding miraculous wisdom against their rivals. Despite rigorous scrutiny, Archimedes' burning mirror endures as a cultural artifact, inviting debates that challenge ancient boundaries of possibility. Myths spur deeper dialogues on human innovation and storytelling's role in historical exploration. Though truth may remain elusive, the discussions it provokes signify mankind's enduring quest to fathom the improbable. In modern culture, the Burning Mirror story continues its influence, threading through literature, media, and education. Symbolic representations explore man's perennial struggle to control the elements, blending scientific inquiry with mythological resonance. As thinkers draw inspiration, they merge the ancient with contemporary, extending imagination's reach in the eternal quest for discovery and mastery. In the shadow of Alexandria's towering lighthouse, known as the Pharos, the lives of unsung watchers unfolded, keepers of light, protectors of the coast. They stood as both sentinels and caretakers, weaving their existence into the fabric of this ancient wonder. These men and their families, while overshadowed by colossal architecture, formed the heartbeat of the lighthouse, ensuring that the beacon never dimmed amidst the tumult of history. Their duties, while routine, reflected a profound commitment to vigilance and resilience, weaving mundane tasks with an aura of supernatural vigilance. Each day began as the sun broke over the Mediterranean, with the keepers climbing the winding passages of this grand edifice. Echoes of waves crashing against stone served as a constant reminder of their place between land and water, light and darkness. Their mornings were marked by rigorous inspections of the light chamber, where they ensured the lantern's intricate pulleys operated flawlessly. The task of maintaining the lighthouse's lenses and mirrors was both an art and a science, demanding precise care amid constant pressure. Life within the lighthouse community was as unique as it was demanding. Families lived in the lighthouse's shadow, children lulled to sleep by the rhythm of the sea. Women managed essential supplies, synchronised trades with local markets, and sometimes lent a hand with lighter duties. This cooperation ensured that isolation was tempered by communal strength, forging resilient bonds crucial for their isolated existence. Beyond the physical elements of their duty, the keepers often found themselves entangled with the supernatural. Local legends spoke of spirits and sea creatures, ghostly apparitions of drowned sailors haunting their nights. Such tales were not mere stories, but woven into their reality, demanding respect and occasional rituals. Protecting against these supernatural threats blurred the lines between practical guardianship and mythic responsibility. Salt lines, talismans, and chants mingled with the mundane, a blend of belief and duty that defined their guardianship. As dusk fell, the keeper's tasks took on a new urgency. The lighthouse served as an early warning system, its light and signals critical to maritime safety. Vigilant eyes scanned the horizon for subtle signs of danger. a rogue wave's glint, the shadow of a Spartan warship. Fire beacons and smoke signals connected these watchers with coastal settlements, extending their reach beyond the towering stone walls. Their skill in reading ships, constellations and sea currents made them ancient navigators, a human radar forming a bridge between worlds. The life of a lighthouse keeper was fraught with peril. Mediterranean storms were legendary, winds tearing through the structure like a beast unleashed. In the face of such tempests, keepers secured every door and window, aware that a single failure could spell disaster for themselves and mariners alike. This was not the only danger. Positioned at critical naval intersections, the lighthouse was often a target during conflicts. Keepers faced raids and sieges, becoming unwilling players in larger geopolitical struggles, their homes and families caught in the crossfire. Though the keepers were predominantly men, the women within these communities played indispensable roles that extended beyond domesticity. They managed provisions, maintained crucial communication lines, and often performed religious and superstitious rites. These matriarchs became de facto leaders, supporting the intricate balance between spiritual and physical realms, ensuring that every day ended in stability amid the endless horizon. The lighthouse community thrived on interdependence, each family contributing unique skills to sustain life. Some mastered carpentry, maintaining structure, others engaged in agriculture or trade for necessities. This communal mesh transformed isolation into vibrant coexistence, buffered by shared knowledge and labour against everyday struggles, whether wild animals, resource shortages, or disease outbreaks. The lighthouse keepers' lives, enriched by this cooperative spirit, became stories in themselves, drawing historians and travellers alike. Generational change brought evolution to these tasks, as wisdom and skills were passed from one keeper to the next. Children of the lighthouse learned to read stars and sea, inheriting the keen observation and respect necessary for their unique calling. While societal changes and technological advancements gradually reshaped navigation, the keepers adapted, blending old with new, while never losing sight of their core mission. Long nights guarding the darkness birthed tales both wonderful and chilling. Ghost ships and shadowy figures weaved into their consciousness, becoming maritime legends. These stories, born from solitude, fulfilled deep psychological needs, transforming duty into a theatre of ancient mysteries. In whispered tales, the past came alive, suspending the keepers between the known and unknown. As they watched the flickering lights of their towers, listening to the voices of the night. The legacy of the Pharos lighthouse keepers transcends the remnants of stone left behind. Their lives formed an enduring narrative of duty, community, and humanity's dance with nature, a legacy found in maritime principles and cultural myths. They left an indelible mark on Alexandria. Their stories are testament to dedication under civilization's guiding light. As tales intertwine with reality, the horizon remains a beacon where the known gives way to mysteries, casting an enduring light on humanity's steadfast journey. In the realm of ancient Alexandria, communication was an art, an intricate dance of smoke and flame that transcended mere words. This technique, although not born in the city by the sea, was refined against the backdrop of Alexandria's sky. Smoke signals had been woven into the fabric of civilizations long before, with the Chinese, Greeks and Persians mastering this craft across expansive territories. For the Greeks particularly, these signals were lifelines, threading through military strategies with smoke-billowing messages of enemy movements and urgent warnings. Alexandria, at the crossroads of commerce and empire, absorbed this venerable art, tuning it to the rhythm of its own aspirations. The lighthouse, an epic marvel of the ancient world, did more than guide ships. It whispered across the waters, using a language universal to traders and generals alike. Under Roman stewardship, the system matured, creating a robust network that knitted together distant shores with silent, smoky words. It was through the hands and minds of Alexandria's engineers and scholars that these ancient signals evolved, bridging the vast distances with precise intention. Roman historian Ammianus Marcellinus, in his formidable Histories, offers a peek into this evolution. Roman might, coupled with intellectual refinement, transformed these rudimentary signals into a precise communication machine. Alexandria's landscape, a natural amphitheatre, amplified these messages. Marcellinus writes of the fine instruments and procedures developed, a shining example of Roman pragmatism, crucial in peace for trade, indispensable in war for the orchestration of naval defences. This harmonious blend of necessity and ingenuity crafted a system resonant with both military prowess and scholarly pursuit, reinforcing Alexandria as a bastion of communication and power. The craftsmen of these signals were not mere keepers of the flame. They harnessed a dance of elements. Fire, a primal force, became a tool wielded with precision. Engineers understood that the perfect signal required more than a blaze. It demanded manipulation of materials like wet wood or specific resins, forging smoke thick enough to cut through the bright Mediterranean sun. Within this alchemy of fire-making lay a sophisticated grasp of atmospheric conditions, knowledge that predicted and adapted to air currents and humidity. This meteorological mastery ensured signals passed unhindered across the azure expanse, carrying embroiled secrets and vital information alike. In this arena, symbolism and subterfuge played their parts. Codes were crafted with an artful hand, concealing potent messages beneath layers of smoke. Only those with the cultural fluency to read these hidden tales could decipher their meanings. Much like priests interpreting divine omens, signalers spun smoke into cryptic communiques, veiling intentions from enemies while guiding trusted allies. This duality embodied Alexandria's ethos, a city steeped in wisdom and mystery. The tower's keepers, tasked with managing these ethereal messages, were guardians both scholarly and steadfast. They, like the lighthouse itself, stood against the relentless march of nature and time. Their duties enveloped them in an unyielding test of endurance. They were thinkers and makers, ready to shield their fire from ill-timed gusts or weave messages amidst tempestuous conditions. Their training was as much about intellectual rigour as it was about practical resilience. Yet this meticulous system was continuously challenged by nature's caprice. Winds howling across the Mediterranean, skies shrouded in fog, and sudden downpours all conspired against the clarity of signals. However, the Guardians would not falter. Instead, they adapted, concocting solutions like modified fuel blends and innovative housing for fires. Their resourcefulness shone across the ages, vibrant flames kept alive through ingenuity, ensuring human messages prevailed. In times of war, the lighthouse donned a martial guise. Its signals became Alexandria's first line of defence, cloaked in the art of war. The city was transformed by these signals. Words turned to weapons, as comprehensive codes painted patterns of war across the sky. Signalers, silent sentinels of the sea, safeguarded Alexandria, turning mundane messages into clandestine dispatches that guided fleets and foiled enemies. But beyond war's shadow, the lighthouse fulfilled a nobler role, It was a beacon of salvation, a radiant protector guiding sailors through treacherous waters to safe harbours. Daylight was marked by smoke and night by fire, each guiding mariners to sanctuary. In this perpetual struggle against Poseidon's wrath, the keepers became stewards of seafaring souls, weaving myth with reality, protecting lives drawn to the vast, ruthless ocean. The legacy of the Lighthouse of Alexandria illuminates not only the past, but also the course of maritime communication through history. This light, undimmed by time, heralded future innovations, inspiring the formation of modern lighthouses and navigational channels. Alexandria's enduring influence persists in every beacon that punctuates distant shores. The lighthouse was more than an architectural wonder. It was a testament to human ingenuity, casting a shadow that reaches our modern world, reaffirming Alexandria's eternal embrace of resilience and discovery. Beneath the surface of Alexandria's shimmering waters lies a world rich with tales of ancient exploits and daring ventures. Here, beneath the relentless tides, the sunken remnants of once proud vessels serve as guardians of stories long forgotten, a meeting place of ambition and adversity. Maritime excavations, inspired by the detailed accounts of Admiral Nearchus found in Arrian's Indica, have unearthed a kaleidoscopic array of submerged relics. These discoveries help us piece together narratives of thriving trade routes and commercial exuberance, encapsulating Alexandria's vital role in connecting the known world. However, these treasures also hint at darker tales of peril and disaster. The Mediterranean, with its shifting moods, turned commercial voyages into perilous odysseys, leaving behind shattered ships as silent witnesses to human folly and nature's indomitable power. The hulls, now resting on the seabed, embody a haunting testament to the volatile marriage of trade and tragedy. Divers and historians, like modern-day sirens, coax these secrets from their sandy tombs, linking us to lives lived at the mercy of the sea's capricious whims. Above the waves, Alexandria's ports buzzed with dynamic energy, serving as gateways to a world of diverse cultures and ideas. Under the ever-watchful eye of the lighthouse, this confluence saw an influx of merchants, pilgrims, and scholars. Ships from afar delivered silk, spices, and precious papyri, each loaded with aspirations of wealth and knowledge. The docks were a tapestry of sound and motion, merchants pricing goods, while philosophers awaited shipments of new scrolls. These harbours, arenas of commerce and cultural exchange, stood as beacons for those seeking fortune or enlightenment. But the journey to Alexandria's thriving ports was fraught with uncertainty. Navigating the restless Mediterranean required mastering its fickle winds and respecting the unseen hand of Poseidon. Sailors' tales, whispered over tankards at taverns, spoke of voyages transformed suddenly by storms or piracy, with the sea god's wrath never far from minds. These countless wrecks underscore the grim reality faced by ancient mariners. Vessels lost to sharp gales or the predations of brigands. Underwater expeditions inspired by Indica have revealed ghostly ship outlines and cargoes locked in time, testament to the daring souls who brave these maritime routes. Trade in Alexandria was not merely a matter of transactions. It was an intricate dance, performed amidst market stalls and bustling bazaars. Here, amid vibrant tapestries and the jingle of coins, precious commodities changed hands. Yet alongside legitimate deals thrived a shadow economy of contraband, invisible yet tangible. Spices, scrolls and relics bypassing imperial regulations. Amidst this vibrant marketplace, Exchanges were swayed as much by cunning as by currency, as merchants navigated the perilous dance between lawful trade and illicit gain. The bustling trade scene in Alexandria also served as a stage for human drama to unfold, as rich narratives woven of cultural encounters played out. At the docks, identities blurred as diverse crews formed bonds that transcended nationality. Here, friendships emerged amidst the chaos of cargo loading, with rivalries ignited by too close quarters. These interactions highlighted the universal human condition, echoing the struggles and triumphs common to all ages. In the bustling microcosm of Alexandria, economic power intertwined with the political landscape. Merchants manoeuvred deftly, aligning with officials to secure trade routes and ensure success. The dance between commerce and governance was a delicate one, with alliances shifting as merchants traded counsel for access, weaving the city's economy into the broader tapestry of political machinations. In this complex interplay, Alexandria evolved from a commerce hub to a city of clout, its elites influencing decisions far beyond its borders. Despite Alexandria's yearning for order, piracy thrived in the margins, a dark undercurrent juxtaposed against the city's official glow. Pirates, lurking just out of reach, pounced on merchant vessels with ruthless efficiency. Their actions flouted the order the city relied on, as they wove unwelcome yet undeniable narratives into Alexandria's maritime story, revealing the chaotic underside that belied the bustling port's apparent civility. As generations passed, the maritime legacies of Alexandria were bestowed upon eager new sailors, each with familial ties to the ancient city's nautical past. Lessons learned from years of navigating turbulent seas passed from father to son, preserving Alexandria's seafaring spirit as an enduring hallmark. With each new voyage, these mariners continued the story, carving fresh chapters into Alexandria's rich maritime heritage. In the shadows of the lighthouse, hidden networks orchestrated alliances buoyed by unseen exchanges. Merchants' whispers conspired with illuminators' lights, crafting connections between those seeking fortune and influence. These clandestine arrangements mirrored the city's vibrant public life, with the lighthouse's radiance serving as both guide and guardian, its light illuminating the silent guardianship over networks of power. Beneath the endless blue, Alexandria's maritime legacies unfold, enshrining the city's seafaring past in archaeological fragments. Each sunken treasure hints at vibrant histories of trade and cultural exchange, whispering of vibrant markets and perilous journeys. From the depths, these relics beckon with tales of an ancient world that's both lost and unfulfilled, preserving Alexandria's enduring allure and significant imprint on the annals of history. In the ancient world, storms were seen as declarations from the gods, none more so than the breath of Poseidon, ruler of the seas. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, with its towering presence, sat under his watchful gaze, a monument of fascination or a target for divine fury. Mariners who braved the waters around this colossal beacon often whispered tales of tempests that seemed to arise from nowhere, with winds strong enough to rip sails apart and waves that smash ships to pieces against unyielding rocks. These tales, chronicled by the poet Callimachus of Cyrene, depict a people who perceive these natural upheavals as scars left by an angered deity, reinforcing the lighthouse's role as both a symbol of safety and an ominous harbinger of doom. To counter the perceived wrath of Poseidon, the people of ancient Alexandria turned to ceremonies and rituals, hoping to placate their mercurial seaborne god. Annual offerings involved grand processions where priests donned in robes of deep oceanic blue marched alongside fishermen bearing nets filled with their finest catch. Townsfolk contributed gifts set afloat at midday, coupled with a crafted effigy of Poseidon, overlooking it all from a specially made vessel. These acts were more than religious observances. They were essential to the city's prosperity, as the sea was a crucial artery for trade. A tempest could mean the end of ships loaded with spices and textiles, the lifeblood of Alexandrian markets. Beyond rituals, tales of ghostly sailors lost at sea pervaded the folklore, adding another layer to the shadowy legacy of the lighthouse. Seamen told stories of spectral figures wrapped in tattered cloaks, seen wandering the foam-tipped waves, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Manifesting during fierce storms, these phantoms carried out eternal duels with nature, their cries lost in the howling winds. To safeguard against their ire, offerings of food, coins, and fabric were cast into the sea, appeasements to these restless spirits, hoping for safe passage on treacherous waters. Lighthouse keepers, standing as oracles of the coast, occupied a near-mythic status themselves. Charged with maintaining the light and watching over the perilous seas before them, they became conduits of foresight. Mariners and merchants often sought their counsel, believing these keepers could interpret the signs of divine will, be it the pattern of a shift in the tide or the flight of distant birds. In reality, their wisdom stemmed from years of accumulated observational knowledge, yet it was framed as divine insight, fortifying their roles as essential interpreters between human ambition and nature's unpredictability. Superstitions of the sea extended beyond sailors, rooted deeply in Alexandria's everyday life. Fishermen wouldn't dare set sail without drawing protective circles in the sand, while market vendors avoided letting moonlight touch their wares, fearing ruinous luck. Such customs, observed and recounted through generations, formed an oral tapestry, embedding these beliefs into the very culture that thrived in the lighthouse's shadow. The crafting of talismans and amulets became widespread, a response to the omnipresent fear of divine wrath. Artisans created these items adorned with symbols and charms, enshrining them with promises of protection against the unknown. In this atmosphere of belief and ritual, skeptics like Strabo and Pliny the Elder sought to cast light upon these ancient shadows with reason. Their writings offered alternate explanations, suggesting that the tumultuous seas were guided by climatic patterns rather than capricious gods. Yet despite these rational perspectives, a balance endured where superstition and observation coexisted, influencing how Alexandrians navigated their existence. This duality, combining empirical knowledge with mystical interpretations, created a rich tapestry that defined an era where the celestial and the empirical held sway in equal measure. Leaders, aware of superstition's currency, often wielded it as an instrument of power. By playing on the fear of Poseidon's wrath, rulers reinforced their divine association, intertwining their authority with that of the celestial pantheon. The lighthouse, a testament to both human ingenuity and divine awe, stood as a symbol of this dual influence. It communicated messages of divine protection or admonition, invoking unity or fear. For better or worse, these beliefs rooted the populace in a narrative that spoke to both their aspirations and their fears, sowing superstition into the very fabric of ruler and subject alike. The enduring legacy of Alexandria's lighthouse and its entwined superstition speaks to a time when the line between reality and myth blurred, forming a profound cultural narrative. The myths that rose from its shadow have continued to ripple through our collective consciousness, casting light on the timeless interplay of fear and faith against nature's immutable forces. Even today, as ruins lie submerged beneath the waves, the stories remain, inviting us to reflect on humanity's eternal quest to understand and navigate an unpredictable world. The land beneath the Lighthouse of Alexandria was never truly stable, a precarious perch poised on the shifting lines where the African and Eurasian tectonic plates met. This magnificent structure, a beacon of human innovation and strength, stood steadfastly erect against the Mediterranean skyline, but below it, the earth was restless. Ancient Alexandria was a cradle of wisdom and commerce, yet its people lived with the constant threat of seismic upheaval, as though the very ground beneath them spoke in vibrations, a dialogue between man and the planet, fierce in its understated power. Alexandrians dwelled in a world alive with omens and portents, where the tremors underfoot were debated as the whisperings of the divine, an unsettling murmur that hinted at the hubris of stone reaching skyward. It was a belief that resonated through the streets, from merchants to mystics, whispered into the ears of travellers and chronicled by souls like Ibn Battuta, whose words captured a city, alive with both fear and veneration for these natural torments. They were echoes of a belief system rooted deeply in both spirituality and nascent understanding, as residents struggled to reconcile divine wrath with the reality of their tectonic environment. Despite being considered messages from the gods, there were those in Alexandria who sought to peel back the divine curtain and understand the mechanisms within. Philosophy and natural observation worked in tandem, ancient scholars watching, noting the earth's restless dance, in attempts to gain insights that teetered on the edge of scientific thought. Although the looming and still undefined lines of faith and logic blurred, amid this cavernous intersection of belief and inquiry, the city saw how novice understandings could produce frameworks of reason wrapped around the undeniable forces below. The tremors culminated dramatically in 956 AD, an annus horribilis, when the earth around Pharos erupted with a primal ferocity that surpassed mere shivers, a beast incensed and thrashing beneath the city's feet. Stones so defiantly immortal under skilled artisans yielded to that deep, convulsive force. The mighty lighthouse, invincible in its grandeur, now found pieces of its upper reaches littered below, as survivors wandered through the clouds of dust and chaos, their cries layering with the sound of cracking masonry. That quake rattled the senses of residents and hastened a reckoning with their physical and philosophical vulnerabilities, nudged their architectural hubris into the sombre realization that human mastery was fragile against the relentless, grinding enigma of nature. Yet in Alexandria's rubble-strewn streets, resolve bloomed like vines clinging tenaciously to cracked walls. Echoing through the ruins, tales of resilience transformed into actions. Efforts began again as masons and craftsmen attempted to bind the wounds the city had suffered. They learned, improved, and passed the wisdom through sight and song, a testament to human tenacity that had once more faced adversity head-on. Strata of survival laced each reconstruction effort, mingling forward-thinking innovations into a tapestry of tradition and adaptation as they carved living spaces from historical shadows. Though the mighty structure would eventually succumb fully as centuries passed, leaving a landscape morphed by nature's might, the spirit among Alexandrians smouldered undeterred. A resurrection, not just through mortar but through community persistence, unfolded from the ashes of disaster. Stones were scoured and reused, remnants of majesty mingling with new edifices, shifting from the grand singularity of Pharos to intimate remnants, settled now in every corner, telling the story of defiance and reinvention. It was in many ways an organic metaphor for survival, from monumental structure to fragmented heritage, yet intimately woven into Alexandria's evolving identity. What was once the unforgiving triumph of Pharos muted beneath a mindful discourse that spanned generations. A beacon eternal, it lay etched upon the canvas of human stories, a muse inspiring deep reflection on ambition, mortality, and resilience. The lighthouse, now a collection of tales passed beyond the physical, became a testament to the incessant tide of history, a source of teaching amid destruction, and a symbol wrapped in lessons as peerless as they are eternal. Even as its stones no longer bold against the horizon, Pharos shone luminously upon the broader stage of history's imagination, casting light upon the distinct and perplexing dance between human aspirations and nature's immutable truths. The Lighthouse of Alexandria loomed over the ancient world as a symbol of human ambition and ingenuity, yet its tale is not one of permanence, but of gradual decay. For centuries, it stood as a resolute sentinel, watching over a bustling port city until the relentless forces of nature claimed its majesty. Earthquakes were the silent destroyers, slowly undermining this architectural marvel's foundation with every tremor. The lighthouse, once a steadfast guardian, succumbed to time's persistent assault, its grandeur fading with each successive quake. The accounts of medieval travellers like Abu al-Hasan al-Masudi and Ibn Battuta bring us haunting echoes of the lighthouse's decline. They recorded how, between the 10th and 13th centuries, the mighty structure was reduced to mere fragments, leaving remnants that whispered of past magnificence. By the time these explorers set their eyes on Alexandria, the lighthouse was but a shadow of its former self. Its ruinous stones, scattered both on land and beneath the waves, stood as silent testaments to the passage of time and the unyielding grip of natural forces. Beneath the surface of the Mediterranean, the submerged remains of the lighthouse lie, seemingly hidden by history's curtain. Yet, the stories of this once great beacon persisted, handed down through generations and coloured by myths and legends. The stones scattered across the seabed were believed to whisper secrets of bygone eras to those listening closely. Driven by these tales, modern explorers delved into the watery depths, their curiosity turning the site into a magnetic allure for adventurers. Modern archaeological surveys embarked on a mission to bring the lighthouse back into the light, combining advanced technology and timeless wonder. Divers armed with sonar mapping and remote vehicles navigated murky depths, piecing together the jigsaw puzzle of history. Each descent into the depths uncovered new relics of a once proud structure, transforming the ruins into an underwater museum. Here the silent stones preserved the whispers of Alexandria's heritage, offering a connection to a long-lost era. The chronicles of Arab geographers like al-Masudi provide invaluable insights into the lighthouse's gradual disappearance, telling how the stones of this mighty structure found new life in the changing cityscape. As Alexandria evolved, the lighthouse became a quarry, its stones repurposed for new buildings, fortifications and structures that stood against new threats. This practical reuse did not signify an ignoble end, but rather a continuation of the lighthouse's legacy, its very fabric woven into Alexandria's ongoing narrative. Despite the passage of time, the story of the Lighthouse of Alexandria straddles the boundary between history and myth. Medieval tales embellished its narrative, transforming it into a beacon of magical properties. Alleged ancient runes and mystical powers fueled the legends, anchoring the lighthouse in the cultural consciousness of many civilizations. These myths, while stretching reality, add a layer of mystique and invite a deeper exploration of this extraordinary beacon of old. The enduring fascination with the lighthouse sparked numerous modern expeditions, driven by the desire to understand its history. Equipped with cutting-edge technology, divers ventured into the depths, their expeditions a blend of the known and the unknown. Each journey sought to unravel what time and water had obscured, piece by piece, revealing the lighthouse's architectural brilliance and the lives entwined with its history. The cultural resonance of the Lighthouse of Alexandria remains profound, echoing through time and shaping imaginations. It became an enduring metaphor for guidance and aspiration, inspiring architects, poets, and historians. Throughout the Islamic Golden Age and beyond, structures mimicking its grandeur spread across landscapes, each echoing the lighthouse's design but standing as tributes to the original. These tributes bridged ancient and modern realms, casting the lighthouse as an eternal symbol of human pursuit and the quest for knowledge. Stories of the lighthouse endured through oral histories, passed down by storytellers who travelled village to village, keeping its spirit alive long after its physical demise. These narratives painted the lighthouse as both an engineering marvel and a setting for epic tales. While tales varied from heroism and betrayal to the supernatural, they ensured the lighthouse's spirit lived on, inspiring awe and a yearning for the wonder it once embodied. The rediscovery of the lighthouse in contemporary times ignited public fascination, as historians sifted through ancient texts with renewed zeal. Exhibitions and documentaries brought the relics to life, transforming the lighthouse from a historical footnote into a vibrant, wonder-filled narrative. These rediscoveries reaffirmed our intrinsic connection to history's grand spectacles, transcending time to remind us of our heritage. In the centuries after its fall, the Lighthouse of Alexandria remains an enduring testament to human creativity. Its story, woven from loss and rediscovery, bridges the ingenuity of the past with the technological marvels of today. It serves as a reminder that we inherit the legacies of builders and dreamers, the stones of its ruins whispering tales of empires and ambitions. Though vanished from the horizon, its legacy continues to illuminate our path, igniting a flame of curiosity and inspiration that guides us toward new frontiers. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, or Pharos, has long stood as more than just a structure. It is a testament to human ambition and innovation through the ages. The stories born from its towering presence have inspired architects and visionaries, from ancient chronicles to modern blueprints. Its sheer magnitude and purpose became a blueprint, influencing builders worldwide. The Renaissance era marvelled at its grandeur, sparking designs in cities far removed from Alexandria. By creating a centralised light to guide mariners, the Pharos laid a foundation for all lighthouses to come, marrying utility with an artistic narrative that has endured over centuries. Medieval manuscripts echo this global admiration, with references casting the Pharos as both guide and guardian. Its symbolism stretched beyond physical realms, interpreting its ever-blazing light as a beacon of guidance, sovereignty, and knowledge. Towns sought to craft their own light towers, emulating the Pharos in both form and fable, entwining its essence with cultural and political narratives that suit their times. The spirit of the Lighthouse of Alexandria thus transcended its Egyptian roots, migrating across oceans and eras to become a universal metaphor, a torchbearer of safety, strength, and enlightenment for those navigating the unknown. Politically, the Pharos was more than a beacon. It was a declaration of power and prosperity. Standing visible for miles, it was a bold statement of Alexandria's might under Ptolemy II. Alexandria was not just a city, but a hub connecting Eastern and Western worlds. This lighthouse amplified its prominence, demonstrating capability and reach, a testament to the kingdom's prowess. Similarly, the cultural presence of the Pharos permeated art and folklore, casting it as a mystical source of light capable of guiding ships and souls alike. The lighthouse found its image etched in coins, literature, and the collective imaginations of civilizations, from the Mediterranean to the far corners of the world, resonating as a metaphorical lighthouse against ignorance, guiding as a symbol of knowledge and power. Despite its physical disappearance beneath the waves, the allure of the Pharos continues through artifacts and remnants, whispering tales of its former majesty. Each archaeological endeavour unveils subsea stone and inscriptions, hinting at the grandeur that once soared above Alexandria's shores. These remnants, ethereal and enduring, invite present-day explorers into a world where ambition clashed with nature's ferocity. Medieval divers hasten to retrieve fragments of marble, each a testament to human ingenuity and craftsmanship, resisting the sea's obscuring grasp. Like a long-lost tome, every artifact enriches the narrative of the Pharos, piecing together its storied past for both scholarly minds and public imagination. The legacy further extends into the realm of maritime safety, with the Pharos acting as a defining moment for nautical navigation. Its lighthouse model serves as an evergreen standard, inspiring centuries of coastal sentinels designed to protect sailors. Countless minds have since refined its design, ensuring that its guiding light endures through tempests and tranquility. A bond between humanity and the limitless seas. The enduring romance of the lighthouse, echoing safety and reassurance across shores, pays homage to its origin, a monumental beacon inspiring art, science and survival. In literature and arts, the Pharos casts a long shadow, inspiring creativity across eras. From medieval chronicles to today's storytelling, its symbolism of mystery and exploration pervades. The iconic image of a solitary tower casting light among stormy seas transcends practical origins, translating into rich metaphorical ground for poets and artists to explore narratives of enlightenment and guidance. Cultural representations cross continents, binding diverse human experiences around shared themes of light and discovery. The lighthouse's enduring presence within our cultural tapestry remains a reminder of humanity's ongoing struggle against the shadows of ignorance. Technological echoes of the Pharos' engineering prowess span disciplines beyond navigation. Its tiered structure challenged assumptions and pushed boundaries, influencing modern engineers to unravel ancient construction secrets that fortified its towering shell. The pioneering spirit evidenced by the Pharos encourages contemporary visionaries, pushing the limits of what can be achieved once more, dissecting its past to inform future innovations in methods and designs across industries far removed from ancient Egypt. Spiritually, the Pharos kindled flames in the realm of philosophy, symbolising divine clarity and enlightenment. Its continuous light served as a vivid metaphor for the philosophical pursuit of truth, an emblem of salvation, guiding souls through life's storms. This spiritual interpretation further cements the lighthouse within the consciousness of societies, that equated its light with cosmic order and divine wisdom. Though the physical Pharos is lost to time, its memory lingers within museum collections worldwide. Exhibitions capture its multifaceted impact, creating immersive experiences that link past with present. Artifacts, replicas, and narratives breathe life into its legend, preserving its monumental influence within the public psyche. These curated relics, displayed with reverence, tell a story not only of what has been, but of what can still be, ensuring that the spirit of the Pharos endures as a guide in humanity's journey toward enlightenment. The final legacy of the Pharos occupies both the physical and metaphysical. Its global influence crossed cultures and borderlines, fostering exchanges that disseminated its light and architecture as touchstones for greatness. Today, as we confront challenges of sustainability and advancement, its guiding principle, merging creativity with functionality, remains as pertinent as it did millennia ago. As it did for ancient sailors, the Lighthouse of Alexandria continues to illuminate the path, showing us how the past can be a beacon to a future filled with promise, possibility, and radiant continuity. If you found this journey enlightening, remember to like and subscribe for more tales from the annals of history.